Hi guys, it's easy to see why Nigel Farage admires Donald Trump so much. The president was and still is capable of convincing people, ordinary people, to vote against their own interests. CNN visited the state of Kentucky, one of the most Republican states in the Union, and a massive backer of Trump at the recent election. Problem is, it's also one of the biggest beneficiaries of federal funding for schools that provide meals for poor children. Trump plans to cut this, and some of his voters try to explain why they back something that will impact the kids they teach. Have a listen.
What kind of poverty are you talking about with some of these kids?
You're going to...
I would be confident in saying that when they leave on Friday, they may not eat again until Monday.
Every year of her 28 years as an educator here, Blankenship fought for every dollar for her kids. A third of all of Bell County, Kentucky school district funding in 2021 came from federal sources. So this district is listening as incoming President Donald Trump pledges this.
One other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states.
Trump won this state. In Bell County, 84% voted for Trump, yet it deeply relies on federal funding. A CNN analysis found the 15 states that most rely on federal funding for its public schools in 2022 all voted for Trump.
And I voted for President Trump.
I mean, you're an educator. You didn't vote for Trump eliminating federal funds
No,
here.
I did not vote for that. I voted for President Trump to make America first again and to improve our lives.
Do you believe that he would cut funding?
I do not think that's what the voters want. If we have federal cuts, then that's going to mean bigger classroom sizes. I would lose teachers, first and foremost. It's devastating.
I don't think that anyone in our county wants to cut our school funding. I don't think that anyone voted for that.
Do you mind if I ask who you voted for in the election?
I voted for Donald Trump.
What the hell is wrong with these people? Honestly, what was going through their minds when they kept hearing about, well, you know, we need to reduce the size of the federal government. The problem is the government. We need to make it smaller. What did they honestly think was going to happen when they know that their district relies so much on, their county relies so much on federal funding? What did they think was going to happen? They know when they live and operate in a Republican state, that the Republican states decide we're actually going to reduce taxation and reduce public services, reduce funding, for example, for the poor. So that's why schools like this have to rely on federal funding. So when the Republicans were talking about reducing the size of the state, and Donald Trump was using this as a rallying cry for getting into the White House, what did these people think was going to happen? Honestly, what is wrong with these people? There you have two people who work in a school who see poor children going hungry and knowing that they have to rely on the federal government for food. What do? They turn around and vote for a guy who says he wants to reduce the size of the federal government. I don't have sympathy for these voters. I have sympathy for the children. The children didn't have a choice. They didn't say, actually, you know, I don't like going hungry. Please don't vote for Donald Trump. Well, I'm not going to vote for Donald Trump. No, their parents did, or their teachers did, or some of their teachers did. What did these people think? What did they think was going to happen? You know, Donald Trump is a compulsive pathological liar. What did you think he was going to do? Do you think he was going to try and help people, as he promised he would make America great? He makes himself great, in the case of makes himself richer. That's what it's always been about. It's not like this is the first time round. We've been here before. And these people thought, well, maybe we'll give him another chance. I understand that many people voted against the Democrats. But when Trump and the Republican Party were talking about reducing the size of the state, the size of the federal government, what did you think the consequences would be? Now, I would imagine if you were to ask these people today, would you have voted a different way? They'd probably say, no, I'd still vote for Donald Trump. Because once again, like Farage, they're very good at convincing people to vote against their own interests. Well, I voted for Trump because he's going to do something about immigrants, or I'm going to vote for Trump because he hates the same people as I hate, even if it means throwing poor children under a bus. It's going to be an interesting 4 years. And the poor, of course, as always, are going to be on the sharp end of these cuts and of this austerity. Trump and his friends will be just fine. They always were and they always will be. It seems that the government now exists to funnel more and more money into the pockets of the rich at the expense of everyone else. And I hope these people who voted for Trump are happy with that. Because they don't, you can't hold up your hands and say, I was wrong, I didn't know, because we've been here before. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.